Hi, everyone. Welcome to today's Masterclass. I'm your host, Zach Dewhurst, and today's topic is how to build an affiliate website template and then use it to efficiently launch new sites for your customers, whether they be for selling merch or they are actually acting as an ordering portal. So let's get started by launching a new site. Add store. We'll say the store belongs to us. And we'll just give it a name and launch our site. And when you launch your first site on your DecoNetwork account, you're going to notice it's just kind of a template full of a bunch of things that are probably irrelevant to an affiliate site. There is nothing different between your first site and every other site you launch on DecoNetwork. So we need to, again, make our own template for launching new sites. So what are we going to do? We're going to essentially get rid of everything currently on this new site and build it somewhat from the ground up. And then when we launch new sites from it, all we have to do is update the variables that we have left. So on the home page, I'm going to get rid of virtually everything. And then all these other pages for right now, we're going to just choose to not show them in menu. Most affiliate sites do not need additional pages outside of the home, the product, and the checkout pages. That's not to say it's wrong to use additional pages. It's just typically not necessary. Most customers are going to shop on their phone. Designing a custom shirt on a phone is crazy. It really is. But to only have to select a size and a color and check out, that has to be possible all day long and as simple as possible for a customer. So what does that mean? Less is more. Fewer pages, fewer clicking, the better for our customers' experience. Now, I'm not deleting pages. I am not even actually turning them off. We could be turning them off, but right now I'm just deciding don't show in menu. And we'll come back to our home page. Not show that in the menu. Click Save. Now let's come over here to Design. First thing I want to go over is logo and title. So up top, typically when we launch a new site, we're going to give the site a name, and then often we're going to replace it with a logo. So let's make this all about Hornets soccer. My school, we're the Hornets. Will be the soccer. I don't have a logo, so no big deal. We'll just use the text. Style editor. So I'm going to update the logo title. Style editor is where I can control the font and color scheme. Now, you don't need to go crazy here. The only thing that I would do is update the button color scheme when you launch a new site. The reason why is once the customers, selected a product, they're just checking out. And what they're primarily doing is just clicking buttons. Take a second, change this button color scheme. It'll look a little bit better for the site. We'll worry about that once we launch a new site. While we're building this template, let's come over to page options. Up top here, we have the search, we have the currency, which you can't really see. We have breadcrumbs. Hide them, in my opinion. I don't like to show the breadcrumbs so much. I don't like to show the currency because it's irrelevant. And I would hide the search bar. The problem with the search bar is your customer can start finding potentially designs or blank products that we just don't want them or need them to be finding. We just want them to shop what we put in front of them. Okay, so have that saved. Let's now come to our widgets. Let's add a row. Let's give this row a background image. Let's just go ahead and search the web. Soccer field. Since this website is all about soccer, and we'll just choose this generic soccer ball. Now, anytime you upload an image, remember that it often defaults to a large size. We don't want it to be large. We want this, if I'm going to make it all the way across the width, I want it to be 2 to 3,000 pixels wide. So if I go 6,000, that's probably going to load a little slower than I want on the site. So huge is going to be better. That's going to be twice the amount of pixels. So you'll see this image is going to get a lot sharper by just doing that. Let's go ahead and stretch it across the whole page. And let's also come into the image effects and let's turn down the brightness. 70. So again, this is going to be a part of our template. If we build this correctly, all we will have to do is swap the image. I don't have to be updating the image effects or making it full width. It's just a couple less things we have to think about. But when you swap this image, make sure you're 2 to 3,000 pixels wide optimally if you're going to go the full width. All right, let's come over to widgets. Let's drop a header in here. This should be an H1 since it's the first header on this page. Don't want to get too crazy with all of that, but just know that's what it should be. And let's make this a little bit bigger. I'm going to make it Oswald font, just a little bit more bold. And let's go ahead and uppercase everything. Looks like my background will work, but if I wanted to turn down the brightness more, I could. So let's do get your Hornets soccer gear. Just something that conveys, yeah, you're on the right site. Your customers are not gonna, the end consumer is not gonna buy products based on what banner they see here. They are pretty much being told, hey, go here to make a purchase. All right, so let's come here. And what we're gonna do is add this row. I like to throw a shadow in it. And when I build an affiliate site template, I try to add as much content to the template as we potentially will need, and then delete what we aren't going to need. So sometimes a website is in batch production mode. So when we're doing fulfillment, we can do it print on demand. We're going to get an order out as quickly as we can. As it comes in, we're going to do production. We're not going to gather orders over a period of time and do them together as a batch. But if we do batch production, we really want to set some expectations for the customer. So let's come over here to widgets, heading. We'll go ahead and make this an H2. Go ahead and center this. And let's go ahead and make this one, place your order before the store closes. We want to set some expectations. So we're going to come over to the countdown clock and create that sense of urgency. Now, typically you're going to use probably the close store date to calculate this. And I'll show you how to do that a little bit later. For now, let's just set a custom date. So let's make it Thanksgiving. Let's go ahead and do this flip. Let's go ahead and clone this header, drag it down. Go ahead and make this one an H3, make it a little smaller. So place your order before the store closes, countdown clock. Then I really want to stress, all orders ship 2 weeks after the store closes. We want to, again, set expectations. Just because you order today doesn't mean you're going to get it immediately. It doesn't mean you're going to get it within 2 weeks. You're going to get it 2 weeks after this closed store date. And as always, we want to make sure everything looks good on every size device. Maybe we're a little bigger. This is our template. We want to get this right. So we don't have to keep redoing this when we launch new sites. This text, let's go ahead and beef up this line height. Actually, speaking of which, it's just not a bad thing to do in general. Come into the style editor. Everything we use here, again, a lot of headers. By default, they're set to 1.1 height. Let's just go ahead and make them 1.5 for most of them. Just naturally going to make that text look a little bit better, not on top of each other. All right, so still look great on a tablet, and then we get to the phone. Get your Hornets soccer gear. I don't think it's a problem that it's 4 lines, but it is tall. There's no doubt about that. Maybe we do want to back it down just a little bit so we have 3 lines. Place your order before the store closes. Again, it's a little big. I don't want, if phones are going to be one of the main devices, let's get this right. Let's make it a little, let's think, how do we make it the best experience on a phone and then kind of work backwards to the desktop? Because that's what the most customers are going to use. And then I'm going to play with fire at the moment because this is a little tricky. Let's try 80 for the numbers. Where are you? Is it in the panels? Yeah, I told you I was going to play with fire here. I can never remember. It gets a little tricky, as you can see. Where are those numbers? Size. Let's make them a little bit smaller. And then is it the line height? Yeah. Then again, we got to kind of have to come back. That's okay. Panels. For the blocks. Let's come down to 95. There we go. All right. Looks good. It's worth the extra couple of seconds there because, again, this is a template. We want it to work perfectly for all the websites that we launch from it. All right. So we have our call to action message. We have our countdown clock if we were to need it. Now we need to give the customer a few options to shop. Again, I prefer to make this more let's set up the site so we have options when we launch a new site. And then based on what the customer's selling, that's going to come down to the products themselves, how many products, how many designs. We'll choose what method makes the most sense. So let's go ahead and just clone a header. Let's make this one select a design to select the design and then a product. So come over to widgets. Let's go ahead and do a design listing. Drop it in that row. And we'll choose store designs. Click save. We don't have any store designs, so we'll see them in a second. Let's go ahead and clone this. Instead of select design and a product, how about select a category and then a product instead of a design listing? Let's do a decorated product category. And then a third way is going to just let the customer select the design by default. So we'll do a blank, or I'm sorry, decorated product listing. drop it within there, and we'll come back. Okay. So we can't do much more without adding some designs, creating some products, and so forth. So let's come over to Store Designs. Let's upload a design. So we'll do logo. And let's go ahead and upload something I should have already had ready. Let's do this DecoNetwork logo. Throw it in a category, call it logo. Okay. Now, if we are going to do embroidery, we need to upload an embroidery file. We can't just upload a bitmap and then use it for embroidery. Not currently. So let's go ahead and try to find an EMB file. You need to have already colored it before we actually upload the file. So let's just find, oh, there's the DecoNetwork logo. Keep it in the same category and go from there. All right, beautiful. Let's come over here to decorated products. Let's create a decorated product. This is 95% of setting up or launching a new site. It's making the pre-decorated products. The site's content revolves around the products themselves. So let's just start with this fan favorite tee. Let's drop one of our designs on there. We could still upload designs while doing this, but it's easier to just come to Store Designs, select one. Now you only see one of these logos because in this body decoration view, I don't have embroidery available. So embroidery is not even an option. So we'll choose this vector. Because I uploaded a vector, we can do what a vector can do, which is I can change its color scheme very easily. I can change its size without losing scale. Now, one thing to remember is when you upload a design, even though this is a vector, when you see it come in, it's at 9.64 inches wide. You really want your artwork to be uploaded at the widest potential decoration. Artwork can scale down a lot easier than it can scale up. And it'll make more sense here in just a little bit. But if I want to put this design and have it go on a youth shirt, I really want to design it on an adult shirt first. Then once I get to the youth product, it'll scale down. When it comes time to print that order, I will be downloading a smaller file size because the decoration area has already been set. So always upload artwork at its maximum potential size. When you're making multiple products at once, put it on the largest possible area and then put it on other products that may have a smaller box area that it represents. Hopefully that made sense. All right, let's go ahead and choose a color. Let's save and continue. Let's give it a name. Always append the blank product name. I have no idea what shirt I'm looking at. I don't know if this is a performance, a cotton. Sometimes I don't even know if it's a youth or an adult. Appending the blank product name will take this name and then put a dash, the name of the blank shirt. Put it in a category. This is very important. Deciding to let the customer customize or not. We are not going to allow in this example. Once we launch a new site from this template, I'll go more over how customization and personalization works. All right, let's select our product colors. So if we don't want everything, don't have to, we can just choose what colors we want. And then this is one of the best features when launching a site. Select products, find the other shirts you want to put this on and drop it on everything else. we can make a lot of pre-decorated products at once that feature the exact same artwork. And again, I could further limit what shirts are available as far as color schemes go. But for now, save and continue. This last step is all about pricing. Again, we'll talk more about that once we launch a new site from this template. Yeah, save and continue. Now, everything is just put in one category right here. Let's go ahead and rename this unisex, just as an example. We'll do youth, and we'll do a women's category. We'll come over here to sort categorize, and we will drag the products into their appropriate categories. Okay. And then we'll take it out of anything that doesn't make sense for it to be in. Toddler. As you can see, a product can be in multiple categories at once. All right, that'll work. Again, you could make your categories whatever you want. You could make the categories based on the design name. Don't think that this is how you have to do it. There's a lot of different ways. And you can also have subcategories. Products could be in multiple categories. But whatever's here, that's what we're going to populate on the front end of the site. Let's come back to edit website, website pages. You're going to see some stuff's now going to be populating here. Designs, product categories, product listing. We need to configure each of these widgets so that we are as turnkey as possible for new sites. So for designs, I like to, set, let's make the design listing up to 30. Rarely are we going to get, past a half dozen. Let's come into design. Let's go ahead and make the thumbnail bigger. Let's not crop the thumbnail. That's why everything's disappearing. Let's give it a hover effect. I pretty much always scale down and make it a little bit slower. And I really don't need to show the name. I just want the customer to select the category itself. Or the design category, design listing, sorry. So we'll show them the design, select a design, then a product. Great. Select a category, then a product. So this is a decorated product listing. Decorated category listing. We'll go ahead and again, make it bigger. We'll come into our hover effects. Let's go ahead and set our scale. I definitely would show the name. And I don't need to show the categories. Good there. So don't have to make the customer do everything on the site. We could show categories, then let them progress into the pre-decorated product page. And lastly, my favorite way, let the customer shop on the home page. So we'll make this 60 products per page, but we're going to display categories as tabs. And we're going to make all products primary categories be the default. All right, what did I just do? Again, let's back up. Let's do normal. When we do a decorated product listing, when we do a blank product listing, when we do a design listing, you can do all of this. Come into category display as tabs. This is how you can show a lot of products on one page without overwhelming your customer and hurting their navigation experience. So let's make bigger thumbnails, hover effect. Just keep doing the same thing. 95, 1500. Show the name. Show the price. Don't need the brand necessarily right now. Don't need the code. Let's go ahead and make that price at least look better. Nobody really complains about blue. Blue gives you a good feeling when it comes to shopping. Okay, spacing. I like to come in and make the spacing extra large so things aren't as on top of one another. And then these category tabs right here. So right here in category tab, I like to get rid of, make it center. I like to change the active and hover colors so that it's more of this gray. And I'm not a big fan of this line that goes all the way across. So category panel, let's get rid of that. All right, select a category and then a product. Or sorry, this should be select a product, then for size and color. All right. So remember, we have all of this here. We're gonna only keep one of these three most likely, and we probably aren't even gonna need this most of the time. Okay, so let's go ahead and preview. When a customer shops by design, they're gonna select a design. It's then going to take them to the design page and then to the design on product page. Okay, so let's update these couple pages so that they look better. So down here in pages, what we're going to be editing is down here in the system pages product. We're going to go over the view pre-decorated product, the design on product, and the view design page. So view design. All right, this is too big. These are too small. Thumbnails, let's make them 300. Design, let's make this small. It looks better. Now, you can use some custom CSS and make it look even better. That's what I do, but don't have to. Okay, now, this is the embroidery file. So why it's going on the first 12 products available on this site that offer embroidery. So that's where these products are being populated from. These are the first 12 embroiderable items available on this store. So if I want a different set of items to be populating for the customer to shop by default, and this is the print version, so let's go back to the embroidery. I need to change this list order of items. How do I do that? Well, come back to admin, your products. Now, whatever the first embroiderable products, the first products that offer embroidery on my all list are what are being selected to show up there. So you see like this women's sports shield polo, that's why it's shown right here. It's the first embroiderable product. Embroidered can be embroidered. So you can change your sort order here. Another thing you can do is when you set up products, you set the availability of what stores can take advantage of them. Within the store itself, we can choose those blank products. So if I come here to select blank products, I can turn off what blank products are available. And that will affect what those first 12 products are listed. So I have complete control over this if I were to create a category in the admin in which I have populated my specific products I want to use for that type of site. So maybe I don't want to use all of these. Well, you don't have to. I can turn them off. And something we're going to go over in just a second. I'm a big fan of creating my own categories for affiliate products. What do I mean by that? Well, when we make the products themselves, 95% of the work is making the product. Well, you got to go find the items themselves. So what do I like to do? I like to make an affiliate products category and then make my own subcategories. Oh, let's hop back over to the admin. In my experience, my affiliates typically come to me with a certain product type in mind. Hey, we're an athletic team. We want to be pushing athleisure wear. Hey, we're a corporation. We need more of those higher quality button downs and wovens, polos, quarter zips. Uh, you have different types of clients, different types of budgets. They have their market that we have to account for. So again, what does that all mean? Well, I'm a big fan of make a category. I just call it affiliate products and populate it with products that are relevant to that category. So I'm a big fan of Sanmar. I just love Sanmar for many reasons. But one of the reasons why is they have a lot of products that they put in families. They manufacture their own products. So my go-to performance line is the competitor. And what I love about Sanmar is they have this competitor line in over 56 products, which means I can mix and match a youth t-shirt with a hoodie, with a ladies, tank top and get all those colors to look identically the same way. And I really like that. My go-to medium quality shirt is their very important line. My go-to soft tri-blend shirt is going to be the perfect try. So a trick I have is create categories for the affiliate sites. So we'll do perfect try. Wow, that found too much. To advance, Sanmar. Perfect try. 37 is a lot more accurate. Modify the categories, apply action. I'm going to put them into that category. Now, categorizing a product is only half the battle. You really need to make sure that it's well configured. Now, I know these are well configured because I've already configured them for my main categories for my main site. So I've already gone through my products. I've put them in categories. I've made sure the view and decoration area look good. If you launch a site and you're making pre-decorated product and the placement of the artwork doesn't look correct, as in, oh, it's too low, or hey, that's supposed to be on the left chest, not the right chest. It's going to come down to how well this is configured. And what can be a little confusing is how decoration areas work. So if you look at this, we have a body, a front, a back. Front and back are the product views. The areas are body and back. If I put artwork on one product and I want to put it on a bunch of other products, it's going to come down to what area I put it in. So for example, I put it on this front. It's going to go on area number 1, because that's what this is, on a bunch of other products that I select. Let's say I didn't put artwork on the front and I just put it on the back. Well, that's area number 2. It's going to then put the same designs on area number 2 of all the other products I select. So if you ever see, oh, that artwork isn't supposed to be there, well, that's because this order of areas is not the same from product to product. Now it's a little bit confusing, but it's very important that these are consistent and you have the same amount of areas for them. What do I mean by that? Well, so we have a front and a back. Let's say on just this one product, we wanted to do a split body bottom. We have that one customer's like, I want to do something on the hip sometimes. Well, the problem with that is we've now added a new area. It's not a gigantic problem, but if I put something on the front here, on the back here, and no other product has this area, well, it's going to look like I put it on area number 1, area number 3. And that can throw off where things go. So again, hopefully I'm not confusing anybody, but it is very important. You want to make products in bulk, but it's going to come down to consistently having them well configured and not having a bunch of random areas from one product to another if we're trying to make things in bulk. All right, let's come back over to our website. So design, customer selects a design. They are then taken to design on product page. So we can come over here to pages, products, design on product. Let's just quickly make this page a little nicer. Let's get it to load. Well, we're not going to worry about it then, because that's a sign. We shouldn't be offering this method. All right, while we're back here, let's look at the view pre-decorated product page. So anytime we select a blank product, it's going to come here. I like to clean this up a little bit. So the description is down here. Again, to gain access to this, just click anywhere on here. So let's get the description and the extra details. So you have the blank product description and you have a pre-decorated product description. We'll just put them both in there. I like to make these tabs. Size, I'm okay with the name there. But I often will make it top of the page. And yeah, don't really have to overthink it. Maybe add a little bit of padding when we're on smaller devices. Looks good. Okay, let's come back to our home page. So we did designs. Now it's category. So if the customer selects a category, this is because this widget is tied to the pre-decorated product page. That's where we're going to go. So I select a category. We're on the category page. So come back to pages. You see these little three icons. These are system pages. These three icons, pages, are directly linked with blank products, decorated products, and design listings and categories. So on the decorated products page, we need to make this nicer. Let's change it to 60 products page. Let's go 300. Let's go ahead and show a transformation. Oops. I'm gonna get rid of add to cart without knowing how much the size, color, no idea how we can let them add to cart. Let's go ahead and show the color options, but we need to space it out. So let's go ahead and give that a lot more spacing. Let's go ahead and pad it on the left and the right, just so things aren't as on top of one another. Colors or price. Let's go ahead and make that a little bit more bold, maybe a little bigger. Make like a blue. And we have our hover. Let's go ahead and space it out a little bit more so things again aren't as on top. And you see here, this is one line, this is two lines. And as a result, this price is sitting higher than this one. So we want to consistently average two lines. We'll come here to design, product name. So size is 12, line height is 1.5. So look at it this way, 12 times 1.5 equals 18. That means there's 18 space per line. So if we want to average two lines, 18 times 2 is 36. So I'll make it 36. And you're going to see this price and this price are going to be in the exact same level. Okay. Looking a lot better there. I can live with that. So when customer comes to here, they select a category, they select a product, then they are on the view on product page or view pre-decorated product page. Customer can now choose their color, size, add to cart. All right, and now let's come back to the home page. product listing. So instead of having the customer go to the pre-decorated product page after selecting a category, customer can do everything from the home page. And these category tabs allows us again to show a lot of information without overwhelming the customer. So you can see I can quickly change between categories, loads very fast, works great on every type of device. Customer selects a product. Now they're on the pre-decorated product page. It's a less couple of clicks. So you can show, again, a lot of product using the category tab listing and not overwhelm your customer. All right, let's just do a couple more things and make this a template. Footer, let's just go ahead and get rid of the word navigation. Just make this one. Let's go ahead and just center everything. So the links are center. Available payments, make that center. And go ahead and clone that. And let's go ahead and use the SL certificate. Maybe we'll give this row some padding and some margin. Okay. What else do we want to do? Oh, one more thing. I want to at least have one page for products just in case. And again, it makes sense. So what am I going to do? I'm actually going to copy the home page. Let's make a t-shirts or a unisex page. I copied the page because I didn't feel like having to redo the formatting. Let's just delete what we don't need. It's easier to copy something and delete than it is to rebuild. So I don't need any of this on this page. Instead of select a product and then your color, let's just delete that. Let's go ahead and come over to page title widget. Drop that at the top. We'll do an automatic title. And we'll make it bigger. But this time, I don't want to do category tabs. Ladies and women's or women's and youth have no relevance here. So instead of display categories tabs, just do normal. We'll select our category, unisex. So if we want, and then I'm going to show in menu. So if our customer, we just feel like, hey, this is the best route, we can easily make it so that our different categories are up top. Let me show you a couple different sites that I have on my DecoNetwork account. So Daskala Parks and Rec, this is one of my favorites. So I have a very close relationship with our local Parks and Rec department, in which the entire Parks and Rec department website is a DecoNetwork site. I mean, you can do a lot with a DecoNetwork site. So this is where we do everything and they pay us to manage it. But it's also where their customers come and order shirts. And this is a big client for ours. I mean, they have thousands of kids play every year. A lot of parents want to support them. So they come here and they shop. But shop is just kind of the back end last little thing on this site. Point is, you can do a lot. This is the high school I graduated from. So it's a password protected site. So more sites are launched as an ordering portal to make group ordering easier for both parties. You, the fulfillment, and your customer, the person placing the orders. So you have to put in a password in this example, go higher. And now we're actually on the site. And again, I have the different categories up top. So I come to unisex, but within unisex, I then broke it into the subcategories. Customer selects a product. And I'll show you how to do this in a second. We have it so the customer has a lot of different designs. So after they select a design, they can come here to select logo and then choose a different variation of a logo. So instead of having the stack design, we'll go full width. So that's a pretty cool trick. Show them one design, have them swap it with another, and give them some directions. I have directions here. I have directions here. Where they should know what they're doing. And then you have other schools who just want to, sell things to all the parents. So again, here's another site in which this time, because the site has so many products, we're showing categories first. Customer will choose a category like sports. Okay, what sport? We do every one of them. I want football. And then they're choosing their shirt and so forth. Okay, so let's go back. From, again, a front end standpoint, we're going to upload the logo and title when we launch a new site. We're going to update the color scheme of the buttons. We're going to update this call to action banner image and the text. And then we're going to delete whatever is irrelevant here. I'm going to click publish. Every time you publish, you not only make the changes live, but you save the version. We're going to clone the most recently published version of the site. That's how it works. All right, let's come back to our site settings. After we launch the site, we'll set the price. When we launch a new site, we can come into store configuration, choose to password protect the site, set a close store date. We'll do these things in just a second. We can set up our commissions as far as automatic payout. We can update the ownership and contact details. We can put this site in a group. We can assign a contract price level. Right now, clone store settings is the first thing we need to worry about. But just go ahead and make this soccer website. Deco will add the word template. So within clone store settings, I can set up, hey, this site can be clonable for new sites, or you can do a one-off clone of the site if necessary. Store commission settings. You may want to automatically set up what the referral commission is if you need one. Go over that in a second. Production options. This is going to be set up from site to site. Are we doing batch production versus on demand? Correspondence settings. If a customer has a question, are they reaching out to the fulfillment center or the owner of the store? Typically, they are the same. Decorated products. This is an important one. If we're doing like screen printing and we're doing batch production, we don't want to have a minimum. We don't want to have setup fees and so forth. So I definitely get this configured within your template. And then each time you launch a site, you need to make sure these are configured properly. And I have a checklist that I'm going to share with everybody here in a second. But what's important is these are all our settings for the template. And now that we have saved the template, published it, we're ready to launch new sites. My suggestion would be to either have store designs in here that are just generic placeholders, not like a logo of another client. And then secondly, maybe don't, you don't have to, but what takes time is creating the pre-decorated products. When we clone the site, it's going to clone up to 50 pre-decorated products. And when it clones it, the products are going to stay in their categories. So if I launch a new site and I have a different design, well, I can edit one of these products and save it. And all of the products it was linked to can update and stay in their categories. And it's just a lot less work if we can piggyback off of products that were already created. So when I create different website templates, I do it based on what pre-decorated products are offered. So if, for example, this school store, we do have some shirts. This is a good example of a combination of a lot of print and a lot of embroidery. So I have a site template that revolves around print/embroidery. Then I have a site that revolves around primarily just print, something like this or this. And then, I have another site that's just revolving around embroidery. So again, what does that all mean? What it means is what products I've already pre-populated. If I have a client that's going to want to push embroidery on products, well, I could already have 50 pre-decorated products with a placeholder logo already placed on them And when I launch the new site from that template, it will allow us to swap those that artwork on those products a lot quicker. And then I can actually just turn off what products I don't want to use. So if we come back here to administration, clone store settings, let's actually call this not soccer website. Let's call this print and embroidery website template. What I would do is I would I would launch a new site, I would clone that site, and then change what pre-decorated products are available, whether they're print focus or embroidery focus, and then make that next template. All right, we got to move on. So let's come back to websites. When you go to add a new store, it's not going to by default give you an option to select a website template. You need to make sure over here that store options enable store sign up templates for stores to select a template is on. Click save. By having that turned on, when we come here to add a new store, it's going to allow us to choose what template we want to use. So print and embroidery, let's just call it example store. The more products you create, the more pre-decorated products, the slightly longer it takes to launch the site. But again, it's going to clone up to 50 pre-decorated. It's not going to do hundreds, even if you had them. All right, so let's just go ahead and simulate. We have a new client that needs this site, and let's see how fast we can put it together. Before we do pre-decorated products, let's go through our checklist, and we're going to start down here administration. This is where I would start. And I'm actually going to work my way from the bottom up. I just find it a little bit easier to navigate. First is customer registration. Okay, so let's use an example. Let's say with this school site, the school district is going to pay for all of the orders for all the teachers. Well, what we can do, if that is the case, we can make this like a super ordering portal is what I call it. If you come in here, store configuration, customer options, this is where we choose, okay, is this website password protected or not? If we make it a password protected site and we make it a generic password, just like on this site, I had to put in go higher to gain access to the site. If I do that, just make it password for now. That will allow us to set up customer registration in which all customers are put as a contact underneath the company. So what does that mean? Well, in Business Hub, if I set up this company with net 30 terms, and then I have it configured this way, that's going to allow whoever comes onto the site to place orders on the company's tab. And then we can generate one statement for the company to pay. It's a very powerful tool. Really great capability that is heavily overlooked. Let's go ahead and take ourselves out of that. Okay, decorated products. We already configured this, but if we needed to make adjustments, we can. Correspondent settings. Again, who is communicating with customers if we need to change it from being from the fulfillment center. Production options, very important. Are we doing on demand or batch production? Just because you do batch production doesn't mean you have to have a countdown clock or let the customer know. That's just a strategic option, and it changes where the orders sit in Business Hub if they flow straight into production or if they're held up. Store commission settings. This is where I can set a sales commission. So this is a percentage of the wholesale price. It's kind of confusing, but let's say we wanted to give a sales rep 10% of each sale. Well, we could do that. If we configure that, it actually decreases the price, and we would offset it by coming into here in the price settings. I will confuse you if I keep going on. Referral commission. So whenever we launch a site, there is a parent store that creates a hierarchy. So what we can do is we can give a kickback referral commission to a site that brings us new sites. And we can set up that hierarchy with here in the ownership. So if I had a referral commission, the owner of custom shirts is going to make a commission from each sale that this store makes. Okay. Clone store settings. As we said, we can do a one-off clone. We can make it a template. Contract price levels. So this is where we can set what price level is being used. That'll help calculate the pre-decorated products automatically at the right price. So maybe we charge a different price for embroidery or printing for sites than we do, a normal custom order. We can set that price level. Group settings, we make websites for different types of clients. We often want to group them, and then we can make bulk decisions as far as what is available, such as shipping methods, payment methods, coupons. You can also do a lot of that here within the permissions. So within the permissions, let's say we only want a certain shipping method to be available. We can do that. Again, same with coupon codes, rush order fees, things like that. Okay, if we ever need to give our client access to view the back end of the site, they want to look at the orders, the customers, the commissions. Well, back here in account details, this is the email associated with the site. Down here is the username and password. You reset this password, you put in your customer's email, and they're going to get sent that link to be able to log in and do things. Commissions where they can review their commission. Store configuration, again, is where I can select what blank products are available. This is where I can choose to put the website into order mode. So I would password protect it. Order portal mode. Closed store options is where I can set a closed store date, and that can correspond with the countdown clock. If the closed store date is before today, that closes the store. The store is closed. So if you don't have a date, no problem. But if that date expires, that site is going to automatically close and will remain closed until you change that date. All right, domain settings. So I've set up a global store subdomain. So if you wonder how to do that, back here on websites, global store subdomains. When we launch a new site, by default, it can be using a subdomain we own. It doesn't have to be .deco-apparel.com. You can have several of these. So you can choose which global store subdomain to use from site to site. Okay, customers, obviously this is where you can view all the customers who place orders, view all the orders that have come in. But again, the bulk of the work is going to be creating the decorated products. Before we do that, let's come to price settings. Typically, we're going to want to set a price markup. So we're either going to market orders up a percentage amount. So this markup is it's a markup. This is your sales margin. So if I mark something up 50%, I make 33% profit margin from the sale. That's the store owner. Or I can do a fixed amount. I can say, hey, just take everything, add $5 to it. That's my commission. That's going to be their commission minus the affiliate transaction fee. So back over here, website commission settings, standard commission settings. This is where we can set up the default referral, the default standard, and the default affiliate transaction fee. This is really to pass on credit card fees to our store owners. As they increase the price, as they increase that markup, the credit card fees go up. Let's pass it on to them. All right, we cloned the store. I cloned the store designs. Obviously, we would upload our new designs, but then we have our pre-decorated products here. All right, so let's just go into a product, configure. Let's edit the decoration. Let's delete our logo. Let's add a new one. So we'll choose a different file. What do I have here as far as logos go? We'll do M&R. Oh yeah, I have rights to use this. We're kind of tight with M&R. I think they'll be fine. All right. Now you can see, obviously, I uploaded a bitmap. It's saying the quality is going to be an issue and so forth. What I really want to stress is here, personalization versus customization. We don't have to allow personalization or customization, but when I upload a design, there is nothing set. But what I could do is come here to advanced, allow personalization. And if it's an image, we can allow the customer to swap that image. Now, if I were to add a design that is a vector, it's going to give me another option to allow the customer to swap it out, allow replace, and or change the color scheme. Let's just go ahead and leave this design on as well, just so we can see what it is. Look how close those colors look. All right, on the back, let's add a name. We'll do last name as a placeholder. Let's choose our color. Choose our font. Very important that we align it. So if I want this to be editable and I don't want to go left to right, I want to go from the center out. I need to have it aligned center. And just like an image, I can allow personalization. Typically what you want to do is make this the most potential amount of characters and set it as the maximum width. I'm not going to stretch to max width. If it's a shorter name, I don't want to drag it out. It's very common. What the heck is a team name? Okay. If we need this to be edited by an individual, like a parent, a player, anybody who's not a coach placing a group order, use the text function. If we have a sports team or somebody like that in which it's a one person placing a group order, then we're going to explore adding a team name. I hope I'm not going to make this confusing. I'm just going to use my own name as a placeholder. Again, this is the team name. We're going to keep it red. We'll add another team name. Make that 11. Again, this is going to be a little confusing doing both at once in this demo, but let's see what is possible. So these are going to be edited just like this can be, but it's going to be a little bit different of an interface. This is better for groups. This is better for when individuals place orders. Save and continue. Now, I edited a product. I don't have to, reset things. I'm just going to make sure that we're going to update the caption description. So we'll do DN plus MNR. We'll update the name. We'll append the blank product name still. By default, we're going to automatically update products using the same original design. But this time, just so we can see, we're going to allow user to customize. I'm not going to change the products. Now remember, it's going to take our wholesale price, the cost of the blank with our markup plus the decoration, that equals the wholesale. Then the markup we set, $5, is going to increase that wholesale price, $5, to create that final retail price. So let's finish this. Everything updated, save. Again, all of the products are still in the categories. That's why I like building sites around redecorated products. Those are my templates. I want to be able to take one design and swap it. And then let's say, hey, M&R is like, hey, we don't want to be selling the ladies V-neck. Okay, well, I can delete it or I could make it private. I'd make it private before I delete something because they could come back to us, you know what, we do want it. Well, great. All I have to do is remake it public. It's better to, again, make extra products from a template and then turn them off if you don't need them. And I could have done that when I was doing the bulk setup. I could have exited out of a lot of them. Okay, so new site, give it a name again, or upload the logo. So logo title, call this, we'll do DN plus MNR. Or I could upload the logo. Name or image here. Let's just do a wall of screen print ink. All right, get your Hornet soccer gear. Get your MNR plus DN merch. Countdown clock. I don't need it. Delete it. Designs. No, I don't want the customer to shop this way. Delete it. Shop by category. Nope, don't care to. Delete it. Let the customer shop using the category tabs. My favorite way. Save it. But let's say, hey, the client really wants to have some pages up top. Well, let's come here to the unisex page. Okay, well, let's go ahead, copy it. Ladies. Title's going to update. All I have to do is change the category. Copy it. Youth. Change that to youth. And lastly, let's change our color scheme. So design, style editor. Since we're going to have a navigation, let's make this relevant. Let's come here to top bar, custom color. I'm going to just choose something close for now. That's kind of in between the two. And the button color scheme. At minimum, do the first, third, and fifth buttons. And then I like to, again, make a hover. So maybe we'll go blue to black. All right, you can see we made several products. We updated a few things. It shouldn't take very much time. It's all about making the products themselves. Let's go ahead and publish it. Let's go preview. Okay. Again, customer can navigate, select a product. Now, again, this is going to be kind of confusing. I have a lot of stuff going on here. Remember, we allowed personalization. Please ignore what's up top here for the moment. Personalization is allowing the customer to swap a design. So what I could do is I could take this DecoNetwork logo, which because it's a vector, I can change the color scheme. Make it white and purple. And or replace image. Let's swap it with the MNR. Boom. Now you can see it went from to become a much smaller because we kind of had a maximum height. Anytime you make a design swappable, try to use the largest possible version and upload vectors. That's the other thing. I had a vector and I just swapped it with a bitmap that had a low resolution. So it went much smaller so that it wasn't stretched and is going to have the problems. So yeah, always upload a vector whenever possible, or at least if you're going to upload a bitmap, upload it at the best resolution so that it has a green bar all the way across, so that it's better to be swapped. So images can be swapped or have color schemes adjusted. Text, so remember, this is the edit text version. This is if we're not a coach, no group ordering. That's going to be right here, last name. So I'll change this to Dewhurst, or I'll make it extra long. Zachary Dewhurst. I can make it long. I can make it short. It's going to work. Works perfect. Great for individuals. If we have a group placing orders, that's where we like this team name function. So let's say we have 5 players and we have 2 mediums. We need a small, a large, and an extra large. Okay, by me selecting these, it's selecting the quantities down here. Pretty nice. Okay, Dewhurst gets 11. Let's see. Marquez, so Victor, our marketing manager, he gets number 3. Colin Hubbard, DecoNetwork's videographer, he gets 0. Radman, Brittany, who does our sales demos, she is going to be number 1. And oh gosh, Adam Pentland, CEO, he gets to be number 9. And you can see here, watch as I change these. They're going to change what we see. Remember, all of this is already set as a vector at the correct size. When we go to download this artwork, it should be as optimal as possible into our workflow. And it does work that way. So team names can really be powerful. It does make the interface look a little different. Use this for group ordering, not necessarily if, a bunch of parents are going to be placing the orders instead. Last thing, customization. Remember, we allowed customization. So what's that going to allow us to do? Well, when I click Customize Design, it's going to launch the design tool and let us make whatever additional changes we want unless we have locked that layer. So customer can change location, sizes, anything they want. If we haven't locked it, it's possible. All right, guys, that's over an hour-long video. There's so much that goes into it, but once you know what you're doing, just like a lot of things with DecoNetwork, this software is so powerful. It's very well made. I've been using it for 14 plus years. I've seen it evolve over time. And what's coming in the future is extremely exciting. DecoNetwork is very much so dedicated into developing the software to the full extent, and a lot of things that I can't really share that are going on behind the scenes are very exciting. And know that if you're using DecoNetwork, you are absolutely on the right platform for many reasons. But again, hopefully this video is helpful. Build a template and then maybe clone it so you have a couple different versions based on what types of products you're going to be selling. Then when you launch a site, select the template that makes the most sense based on the products that are going to be offered. And you'll be able to make it as streamlined as possible. Once you've done it a few times, you really fly with it, and create some SOPs, standard operating procedures, on how to onboard a new client. So gathering their logo, what they want to charge, what the domain name is going to be, what colors they want to be available in. Get that together for them so that's you gather that information efficiently as possible, and then using your template, you can pass it on to one of your team members to do it from there. All right, guys, hopefully you find this video helpful. Visit DecoNetwork.com and the YouTube channel to view any other helpful resources. Have a good one, guys.